Hey Christian, here's what I want to do today. I want to talk about some specific stuff in the Bible, sorry, it's Bible Biblit.
Wrong
In the
class.
book. Yeah, wrong class. Now I've been sitting here staring at the computer since 8:30 this morning. How are you guys doing? Are things going pretty well for the most part?
Yeah,
Pretty
I'm
good.
existing.
You're all staying healthy. Jake's the only positive one.
Existing.
Okay, yeah, existing. That's pretty much welcome to life with the coronavirus. I want to hear what you think about the book, but in the interest, there's a couple of things I want to do. I've got some discussion prompts, which I'll show you in a second. I'm going to actually break you guys into smaller groups because it's kind of hard with, with this many people. So maybe we'll partner up. And I'm going to send you into different rooms, into breakout rooms here in a second. And after we look, hey, Logan, there you go.
All
Good, good, excellent, good work. After we look at these discussion prompts, I want to talk a little bit about the book. I want to hear what you guys think about the book. And then I also want to look at, what happened there? Lose somebody? I want to look at, there's a poem that's mentioned in the first chapter, which we didn't talk about last week when we met. And I want to talk about villanelles. So that's kind of what's going on. For starters here, and again, as I say, I've got some pages of the book. Where is this? Well, I'm going to share this. Let me know if you guys can all see this. Can you see this on your screens?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody can? Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. And you guys can pull this up on your own computers. These are all in most of the stuff we're doing online just to keep the Schoology page kind of clean. I'm dumping everything into that yellow folder that says resources for online learning. So we got three things. We're going to try this breakout feature in Zoom and see how that goes. Mostly I want you guys to spend about 10 minutes talking amongst yourselves in smaller groups once we break out about a few different things. The phrase, so it goes, and we mentioned this, some of you guys, thank you, by the way, for those of you who actually responded to the discussion prompt. I think that's all of you except maybe Logan Petrie, but you can do it whenever, that's fine. We already mentioned the phrase, so it goes, keeps recurring through these chapters. When does the phrase come up? Why do you think Vonnegut keeps repeating it? What does it mean to become unstuck in time? And how does this affect the chronology of the novel? We'll skip the next one. We'll do this a little later. I'm interested to know what you think of the Tralfamadorians, who are briefly described on page 34 if you have a book. And what can we glean from their lessons on time? And then what is significant about the framed prayer on Billy's office wall? We'll skip the last two. We'll talk about those later. So here's what I'm going to try and do. These are the discussion prompts, but you guys can. Hey, Julian, how you doing? Julian, good to see you. Julian, try to play around with your microphone and your camera and see if we can get you going.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I can hear you just fine, Julian. It's great. It's great to hear you. Now here's what's going to do. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. We've got 12. So I'm going to break you guys into 4 rooms. And what's going to happen, these will be random groupings. Let me go to 4 rooms. So it'll be 3 participants per room. And what I want you guys to do is just spend, it's what, 12:51. So at 1:01, after you guys have spoken, oh, here's Miss Kimball. Maybe we should wait. After you guys have spoken about those discussion prompts for a while. Hi, Miss Kimball. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Here we'll say, so Ms. Kimball, we're experimenting with breakout rooms. We just went over some discussion prompts, which I pulled up on the screen. And so now I'm going to create these rooms, and looks like Julian and Luke, you're alone in a room. That's fine. So what's going to happen is you guys will be invited to join a breakout room. I want you to go into that room, and then there'll only be like 3 or 4 people on the screen. And then spend 10 minutes talking about those discussion prompts, and then I will close the room. So you'll get a signal saying a minute, and then we'll all come back together, talk about your responses, and then we'll move on to that discussion about poetry and villanelles and why they're so appropriate. Is Ms. Kimball in here? Yes, you're in the room. But actually, before I do this, let's hold off on this. Do you guys want to chat with Ms. Kimball? Here's an opportunity to let her know what's going well, what's not going well. Any comments, any ideas?
I'd love to hear from you.
Nothing.
Nothing?
I think everything is going okay so far.
So Mr. Gass just sent out a survey to all your parents asking, so you should give your parents input, if we should basically skip spring break and end school early, and maybe create some leniency of like 4-day weeks or around that spring break time. But what are people's thoughts on that?
I mean, all my
anything to
vacation
escape
plans got canceled, so.
One at a time, yeah. Let's start with Jake. Let's go around my screen. Jake, what do you think? If the rest of you guys can mute your mic when somebody else is talking, that'd be great.
All right.
Jake, what do you think?
I think it's a great idea because, I mean, I'm pretty bored here. I'm in North Carolina now, so it's kind of like I'm already on spring break. But yeah, I think if we had it, I'd just be super bored because it's kind of occupying me. So yeah.
You're in North Carolina, Jake?
Yeah, I'm in North Carolina.
I didn't realize that. Okay. Luke, how about you?
All my vacation plans got canceled, so I'm just here.
Okay. Okay. Kyla, what about you?
I mean, kind of same thing as Jake. Like, you have really nothing like to do, so pretty much kind of like spring break right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Logan Rutledge, what about you? What do you think? Logan, where'd you go? Logan's gone. Mariam, what do you think? You got to unmute your mic, Mariam. Sorry.
You're muted.
Yeah. Go ahead. There you go.
I mean, it's kind of like what Kyla said. It's kind of like vacation because of actual school, but.
Okay. Okay.
Does anyone have a strong opinion that, yes, we need a break? This is hard to keep powering through and it would be nice to have a week off? Or does anyone feel that, or would you rather just power through? Power through. Give me a thumbs up.
Really? I'm the only one who wants a week off. I told Mr. Gass that we should compromise and just, cut break back to a week, but maybe I'm wrong. Shan Kendall, who don't want to share your face. What do you guys think? We can't see your thumbs.
I think that we just should end early because, like, what's the point?
Okay. Fair enough. Shan, what about you?
Yeah, I agree because we're all like in quarantine, so we don't really have anything else to do.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Having a week off would be kind of nice.
Yeah, Logan's
Not
with
gonna
me.
lie.
Logan's with me.
Yeah, just kind of be able to get your feet under you and kind of just chill and take in everything that's happening because it's super overwhelming.
Yeah.
Whatever keeps me away from the beach. We've been there 5 years in a row, and I'm kind of tired of it.
Yeah.
Okay, good enough.
Do
Okay.
you guys have any other questions for me? I've got to go in about 2 minutes. I just wanted to stop in quick. But do you have any other questions for me while I'm here?
Not really.
You guys are doing awesome. Keep it up. Thank you, Mr. Lavender.
All righty. Well, we're going to try these breakout rooms now. Okay, so guys, again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set these rooms for you. You've got those discussion prompts. I'm going to make it here. I'm going to cancel these. Cancel. How do I recreate? Recreate all rooms. Hang on. Okay. Options. Good enough. Okay, now let's see if you get an invitation. So go ahead and click on the invitation. You're going to leave the room. And then you guys in the smaller groups are going to talk about these discussion prompts, and we'll meet again at like 1:05. And I'm going to check this out. Okay, so Kaya, go ahead and leave a room. Did you get an invite? There you go.
Oh, Lavender, hello.
So, okay, it's just you two. So go ahead.
Welcome to the cool kids room.
It's the cool kids room. That's right. So what I want you to do is one of you, Jake or Luke, you should be able to share a screen. Go ahead and open up your Schoology, or just talk about the book. What do you guys think of the book so far? What do you think?
It's
Weird.
Yeah.
Good
Strange.
weird or strange weird?
It's interesting. I kind of like it, but yeah.
It's a pretty tepid endorsement. Okay, well, you guys go ahead. I'm going to leave this room. You chat for a bit. I'm going to go.
Okay.
Logan, aren't you in the room?
It just disconnected me. I was in a room.
Okay. Okay, let me add you to a room. Just a sec. I'll put assign to. Okay, come on. Assign to. I'm going to assign you to breakout room 2. There's only 2 people in there. I'll come join you in a second. So now look for, there should be a little cue. Go in, chat about the book. There you go.
Okay.
All righty. See you in a bit.
We're supposed to be talking about the questions. Hello.
So you guys, what do you think of the book? You should be talking about the book. What do you like? What don't you like?
I think the book is very confusing.
Good.
Yeah. Like how it keeps jumping like times, like how he keeps like lost in time or whatever.
Unstuck in time. That's right.
Unstuck. Yeah.
Okay, do me a favor. One of you guys be a recorder. Make up a list of questions, and I'll check back with you in a few minutes, and we'll come back to the main room. I just want to see, isn't it a little easier with fewer people on your screen? Yeah, Christian. Okay, good enough. Okay, I'm going to leave this room and check in on the other guys. Keep talking. I'll see you in a bit.
Something like that. Repeat it.
So Julian, how you doing? What are you guys talking about?
Oh, so I think I'm the only one who find the things, and and I said it was like in the remote learning folder.
Okay, good.
I found it now, but
Yeah. You guys can just hear. How about doing this? Spend another 5 minutes coming up with questions, because the other 2 groups are saying that the other 3 groups are saying that they're really confused. So what's got you confused? Go ahead and just what questions you have about the book, and then we'll reconvene in about 5 minutes. But isn't this better with just a few screens? Although I wish we could see Kendall. It's really weird just
less
looking at you.
chaotic.
I really don't want to be seen right now.
Okay. Okay. Do you skip school on bad hair days?
Oh my god.
Anyway, you guys keep going. And I'll see you in a bit. Hang on.
Okay.
We'll get to you.
Gets confused.
Hey guys, so what are you thinking? What are you talking about? What do you think?
We're talking about chapter 2 right now, where he kind of starts to move around time, and it kind of just gets really confusing, and yeah,
Okay.
just trying to figure it all out.
Okay, spend 3-4 more minutes. I'm going to check with the other groups. Make a list of the questions you have. What is Kyla confused about? What does Mariam like about the book? What do they dislike about the book? And we'll rejoin the main meeting in a couple of minutes. Isn't this easier though, just to have a small group?
Yeah, it's way talk around,
Good.
your ideas out.
Okay, we'll keep talking. I'll be back in a bit.
Okay.
Okay, bye. I think this is working. I don't know, Karen. I can't tell. Stay, guys. Stay.
Lavender disappeared. He's gone. Well,
Hmm,
now we wait.
I guess so.
Stay. Stay. Can't go out. That was it? You left your main. You guys
Yeah.
you guys are punks. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me shut these down. Close all rooms. Let's see who joins us here.
It worked pretty well though.
Well, I think this can work in the future. It's a
Mhm.
lot easier to have one-on-one,
For sure.
just 2 or 3 people. Okay, looks like you're on drugs there, Luke.
Nice, Luke.
Oh, and I'm gone. I am the
Okay.
ghost now.
Luke, I'm going to turn your camera on, which is not supposed to be. Okay.
Return to the stage, and the first thing I see is a creepy man behind Luke's screen.
Okay. There's Logan. Okay, Kendall's back. Christian's back. Hey, Christian. Hey, Marie. Or Claire, sorry. It says Marie. It's hard. Okay, so what do you guys have questions about?
What's the framed prayer on his office wall? I don't know what that is.
Let's do this. Let me pull up while we're talking. Let me pull up some pages that I scanned. Nope, this is not the one I want. Hang on. That's not the one I want. Hang on. Whoops.
I don't think everyone's here.
They'll be coming back. It's okay. Just a sec. Where are? Let's start with this. Can you guys all see this?
Yes.
You can see this on your screen? Okay. This is the, why listen? That's kind of weird. Why do you start off with listen?
This is chapter 1.
Yeah, hey Christian. Yeah, this is the first chapter. You guys don't have to pull it up. I've got a couple of pages I just want to go over. So what does it mean that Billy Pilgrim has become unstuck in time?
You can travel through time now.
But he can't control it. Okay, I've got my notes here. These are my notes. He's seen his birth and his death. This is kind of cool many times, and pays random visits to all events in between. But it says Billy is spastic in time. What does spastic mean?
No,
Like,
no clue.
Erratic, unpredictable.
Erratic, unpredictable, and it's like, if you think, this is a terrible analogy, but remember when President Trump made fun of that reporter who had issues, couldn't physically control his body? Spastic means that Billy can't control it. And imagine you open a door and you walk through the door and suddenly you're in 2047. And then you turn around and you're in 1998. So what happens is he's kind of like skipping through time and he has no control over it. And of course, we talked on, when did we talk last? On Thursday? No, when was the last time we talked? Wednesday. When we were talking about chapter 1, we were talking about this idea that time is deterministic. So he's in a constant state of stage fright, he says, because he never knows what part of his life he's going to have to act in next. So imagine if Luke, suddenly was 2 years old, and then 10 minutes later, he walked into another room and Luke became 40 years old. this is what's happening, is Billy is just kind of skipping through time
crisis time.
in this random way, okay?
That's fucked up.
And he talks about, now, who are the Tralfamadorians?
Aliens.
They're aliens. They live on the planet
The island.
Tralfamador. And they have little, they look like, do you know what plumber's helpers are? Anybody know what plumber's helpers are?
Pull up a picture, please.
No, I can't, because it's just too much of a hassle to pull all this up. I had to preload all the stuff as it was. Who's unclogged a toilet? You know that plunger thing you use when you unclog a
Plunger?
toilet? That apparently is what
Yes.
the Tralfamadorians look like. They look like plungers. They've got little hands on the top of the stick and a suction cup on the bottom, and they've got an eye in the middle of their palm, okay? We'll meet the Tralfamadorians in next chapter because Billy's about to be abducted by a spaceship. But he says all moments, and this is, I've highlighted this right here, all moments, past, present, and future, have always existed and will always exist. So in other words, this is like the arrow of time, or this is like 12 monkeys. Everything that's happened, you know, in the arrow of time, they ask, why can't we remember the future if we can remember the past? And what Vonnegut's having Billy say is that the Tralfamadorians have taught him about time. The future already exists. It's already there. So it's deterministic. Okay? The Tralfamadorians can look at all the different moments, just the way we can look at a stretch of the Rocky Mountains, for instance. So it's not like we see one peak, then another peak, then another peak. The analogy would be that that's one moment, another moment, then another moment. But instead, we see all of time from the beginning to the very end. And it's all exists at the same time. And what happens is time is static. All these events, everything that's happened from the beginning of time to the end of time, we'll learn about the end of time later in the novel. All of this already exists. So it's determined, it's pre-existing. This is why, well, we'll get to this in just a sec. They can see how permanent all the moments are, and they can look at any moment that interests them. It's just an illusion that we here on Earth have on Earth, that one moment follows another, like beads on a string, and that once a moment is gone, it's gone forever. So in Vonnegut's view of time, all those moments exist permanently. And we happen as Earthlings to move from one bead to the next bead, to the next bead, to the next bead. But the Tralfamadorians, and now Billy, who's become unstuck in time, they can see all time. And they can move around. Billy has no control over it. But as we'll learn, the Tralfamadorians can focus in on certain moments. When a Tralfamadorian sees a corpse, all he thinks is that the dead person is in a bad condition in that particular moment, but that the same person is just fine in plenty of other moments, which is kind of cool when you think of it. Now, when I hear myself say somebody's dead, I simply shrug and say what the Tralfamadorians say about dead people, which is, so it goes, which is the origin of the phrase. Christian, what do you think? What do you think "so it goes" means? What do you think "so it goes" means? And why, if this is okay, why? What's the significance of the phrase "so it goes"? When does it always occur? Come on, guys.
After death.
When death, yeah.
Yes, death. Whenever anything's mentioned it's having to do with death, somebody gets killed, somebody gets shot. Well, even if a can of soda's flat or something, we always, what the hell is this? I'm sorry. Nope, don't need that. Yeah, whenever anything dies, the Tralfamadorian response, which becomes Vonnegut's response, is "so it goes." Why do you think in this particular novel, based on what we talked about on Wednesday, why do you think Vonnegut's using this particular phrase? Oh, come on, guys. Somebody asked Vonnegut, remember the first part of the novel was more autobiographical. And at one point, Vonnegut is asked about the book he's writing, and he tells this person, the person's response is, well, I think you may as well write an anti-glacier novel. So what kind of novel is this? What's that ding? Oh, well, just a ding. Hey, we may get cut off here. If we get cut off, just log back into the meeting, okay? For some reason, you guys are getting cut off at 40 minutes. This is an anti-war novel. This is Vonnegut trying to deal with Dresden, this tragedy. How do you deal with a tragedy that you can't change? You know, anywhere from 25,000 to 500,000 people died, women, children, we don't know how. How many died? Somebody turn their mic up, we're getting some weird feedback. But the point is, how do you respond to this tragedy? You say, well, it's inevitable. Again, in the Tralfamadorian view of time, everything has already happened. All the moments of all time exist permanently, and we just move around them. We humans, according to Vonnegut, we just move through time like the arrow of time. We move from one bead to the next bead, to the next bead, to the next bead, and so on. Whereas he's imagining a world where the Tralfamadorians who can control it, or Billy who can't, just bounce around between all these moments. But if it's inevitable, if it's already happened, then you have to just kind of shrug and say, well, so it goes. Death is, yeah, so it goes. Which is where we get to this prayer. This is the prayer, Kendall, that is on Billy's wall. God, grant me this. This is a serenity prayer. It's pretty famous. Vonnegut didn't come up with this. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom always to tell the difference. But Vonnegut puts a twist on this and says, among the things Billy Pilgrim could not change were the past, the present, and the future. So time is deterministic. It's not like, Back to the Future, where you go back in time, you do something, and it changes the future. That's not Vonnegut's view of the future. And in part, Vonnegut's view of the future may be motivated by the fact that he can't, he doesn't know how else to respond to this tragedy. He doesn't know how else to deal with this terrible real-life incident, which was the firebombing of Dresden. Does that kind of make sense? Sort of?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, let me go back here. Just gonna go something else here. Gemma, does that make sense? Sort of?
That makes sense.
Okay, Jake is spinning around in North Carolina. Christian, I'm not sure what Christian is doing. It looks like he's half asleep. But, of course, I can't see Kendall or Shem. Okay, so one more thing I want to get to, and this is early. Well, actually, let me. Who's chatting? Okay, somebody's chatting. I can barely hear your voice. Sorry about that. It could be that could be that, yeah, my internet's bad. I don't know. Who knows? So it goes. Let me find. Hang on. Whoops, that's not the one I want. Sorry, hang on. I'll stop sharing. I want to talk about the poem. There's a poem in. Oh, hang on. Whoops. Okay. Sorry. Let's go to that's fiction. Let's go remove. You guys all see this? Yes? No?
Yeah.
It's not in here. Hang on. Where is it?
Yeah, were you going to talk about the poem in chapter 1?
Here it is. Yeah, here it is. Can you guys see this? Yes, can you guys all see this?
Yeah.
On your screens? You can't see it? Yeah. Okay, let me try again. Sorry, I'm lagging. I can hear myself in somebody's thing. Let me stop recording this.